Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the teachers over at Great Millstone for teaching this truth in sincerity and who rule well. Today's lesson is entitled BLM equals Balaam. BLM equals Balaam. And we've all seen, and we know, if we've not been under a rock for these last couple of years, we know what BLM stands for, and that's Black Lives Matter. But when we see these things and we see that acronym on shirts and posters and billboards or wherever the case, you see that logo or that acronym, we all just say, okay, that's Black Lives Matter, but we never read it for what it is. And when you read it for what it is, just straight off top, the B and the L and the M is Balaam. So we just take the B, make the B sound buh. And then you have the L, which is supposed to be for lies, but when you just say Bel, and then they have the M, which is for matters, then you just put M. BLM. And if a person doesn't know who Balaam is or know what Balaam is, they will not have any idea that that whole organization is a false flag and just ran by a lot of deception and witchcraft and sorceries for the most part. Because I went on a Black Lives Matter website, and this is in part of their mission statement. It says, we affirm the lives of Black Salakim, let me start that over. We affirm the lives of black, queer, and trans folks, disabled, undocumented folks with folks with records, women, and all Black lives among the gender spectrum. Wow. So in this mission statement of Black Lives Matter, it never mentions the men, which are the head, but it says we affirm the lives of Black, queer, and trans folks. So that's the part of their affirmation, is the lives of Black and queer and trans folks. And as one of the beloved brothers from GMS always says, goes by Malcolm, always says, black is a color. We are not black people. We are different shades of brown. But I really got the idea of this video from another brother of the same organization named Awam Abad. If I'm pronouncing his name correctly, he did a video on BLM, and he just kept saying BLM worship, because he was warning, brothers and sisters, Yasharala, not to be entangled into that organization, because it's nothing but trickery. But it just came to me. I don't know if he was trying to say it or whatever the case be, but yeah, BLM is Balaam. And we're gonna go into Numbers chapter 31, and we're gonna see about Balaam. So I'm going to start at Numbers chapter 31, and I'm going to start at verse 14. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have you saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit a trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. Because Peor is a place in Moab, of the Moabites, and we always lived, they were our neighbors, and Moab would be considered the Chinese or some of the Asians right now. Okay? Continuing, and there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath not known man by lying with him. But all the women, children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. So right here in this chapter, this is about Israel going to war with the princes of, not the princes, but a prince of the Midianites, the Midianitish people. And those are some of the same people stated in Psalm 83, the counsel of the wicked. The counsel of the wicked in Psalm 83. So they've come against us today under the counsel of Balaam. And hell, they even hit it right in your face that it's Balaam, that is Balaam's counsel, because through their logo, it says what they're about. They hide it in plain sight. You know? So, in reference to Numbers 22, because we're going into talking about Balaam. So there was another Moabite, and his name was Balak, and he was a prince of Moab, and he tried to hire Balaam, who was some sort of sorcerer and a diviner. He tried to hire him to curse Israel, but the Lord would not allow him to do so. But after all of these attempts from Balak to have Balaam curse Israel, he could not, because the Lord told Balaam to bless Israel. But as we see, even though he blessed Israel, and that is in Numbers 22 or Numbers 23 or 24, I think it's Numbers 22 through 24 is that account. So, you know, you brothers and sisters could go read it if you like, but I'm a more so, for time's sake, just kind of explain it a little bit if you haven't already got it. So Balaam still attempted afterwards, even after he blessed, even after the Lord Yahweh Shai told him to bless the children of Israel, he still gave counsel to others to have us go off, because they know when we don't have our power, our defense is down, and we are subject to become prey upon the nations. And that's why they give us another Balaam, or as in Black Lives Matter. And we already read their mission statement. We affirm the lives of black, queer, and trans folks, disabled and undocumented folks with records. So right now, you know that, and we already know that's wickedness. Queer and trans folks, we already know that the Lord told us that a man should not lie with another man as he lied with a woman in Leviticus. And he also told the women not to do the same thing. He also told us don't cut our rods off. A person who has their rod or their stones altered, and I'm just roughly paraphrasing these things, shall not enter into the congregation. So they're trying to cut us off from being a people and a nation, all right? And trying to have us remain under these curses, you know? Salaki, one moment. You know, and Balaam always gives wicked counsel for the purposes of having Israel go into idolatry. So let me hit my next precept. And my next precept is, I'm gonna go into 2 Peter 2. So this 2 Peter 2, I'm gonna start at 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. 13, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. So having eyes full of adultery, that they cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, in heart they have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Beor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass speaking with man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. These are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved forever. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness. Those that were clean escape from them who live in error. So these few verses right here describes this Black Lives Matter movement. Let me say it again. Let me go over some of these verses again. This is verse 13, 2 Peter chapter 2. And shall receive the reward of unrighteousness as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. So what does Black Lives Matter do? What do we see them do? They're rioting in the daytime. Spots they are and blemishes. Yeah, they're nothing but some fucking outcasts. They're blemishes. They are a blemish because they think that they're doing the right thing, but they're doing it all for the wrong reasons, and they're doing it in wickedness, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, because it is Balaam. Balaam come to deceive you, and you think that you're going out protesting and rioting and breaking shit up and stealing. No, you're in your own deceivings while they feast with you. And these are the people that's the leaders that's leading you to do these things. And we already is well aware that, yeah, Black Lives Matter is it's supposed to be for so-called black people, which are Judah, Benjamin, and Israel. But really, for the most part, a lot of the tribes still have their color. But for the most part, they're talking about Judah and Benjamin and Levi and everybody else who want to fall under the false narrative of black, whatever color they want to be. But, you know, while they feast with you, they're deceiving you, because this whole organization is secretly funded by a wicked, I think he's a member of the Council of the Foreign Relations, if I believe, but his name is George Soros. And George Soros is a wicked Edomite, and that's who have taken on all of the witchcraft of Canaan and all of the enchantments of Balaam. And he gave you Balaam, and he put a black face, a black woman face, to lead. And we already know in the scriptures it said the Lord would turn everything upside down, because the man is the leader and the woman is supposed to follow behind her man. The man is the head. All right, but this is Balaam. So we have to understand that everything is an enchantment, everything is sorcery to make us as a people go off. All right. And just saying that, we also know the account of 1 Kings 18, when the prophets of Baal are put to the test for calling out fire of the sky to consume their sacrifice by Elijah. You know, and we know that they could not, because it's just an idol. But Elijah's sacrifice was taken and consumed with fire even after being drenched in water. Because why? We worship the true and living power. So do not be deceived by these things. You know, do not. Let me hit Deuteronomy 13. Hit Deuteronomy 13. So this is Deuteronomy 13. I'm going to start at 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. So how are they going after other gods? Their affirmation is the lives of black, queer, and trans folk, and that's under the spirit of Baphomet. That's the Baphomet spirit. So you're going after Baphomet when you inquire of this Black Lives Matter and you going into their congregation. You're going into the congregation of Baphomet, because their affirmation in Baphomet is an androgynous deity. Baphomet is an androgynous deity, and androgynous means have no sex. That's why if you ever seen it, the little Baphomet sign, has a goat head, you know, and we already know that's Edomites. Goat head, and then it has breast, and it looks like a man, and it has women's breast. It has a goat head, and I believe it has some sort of phallus. Yeah, but let me continue. Let me start 2 over. This verse 2. And the signs of the wonders come to pass, wherefore he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, proveth you to know whether you love the Lord your power with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your power, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, your power, which bought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage. And this is the house of bondage. This is the new spiritual Egypt. So be redeemed out of the house of bondage. Do not go into Black Lives Matter. Do not get caught up in that mess. All right. Continuing on. You out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy power commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou evil be put away from the midst of thee. So that you have to kill these people that do that. The Lord is gonna kill them. We already know in this society that evil is good and good is evil. So there will never be no true justice coming from the hand of this man that's over us. So the Lord is gonna have to come and justify us and redeem us, because shit like this got our people ensnared and entrapped and in a great deal of deception and enchantments being put on them by the media, who pushes this propaganda to our people. All right. So let me get Romans 11. So this Romans 11, And I'm going to start at 4. But what saith the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so then at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So there is a remnant according to the election of grace who are not going to get ensnared or ensnarled in this Black Lives Matter movement, because they understand what it is and they understand the consequences for clinging on to their philosophies and their teachings. All right, I'm gonna have that was also spoken of in 1 Kings 19:18. That was the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, speaking to his prophet Elijah, telling him that he had 7,000 that had not bowed the knee to Baal. All right, and I'm gonna give one more precept, and I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go to 2 Thessalonians 2. So this is 2 Thessalonians 2, and I'm going to start at verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that a man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So who was that man of sin? We talking about Esau, Edom, the white man. But right now we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and who's behind it? Yeah, they got black faces, or Hebrew faces, that call themselves black Hebrew Israelite faces, Salakium, because there's more Hebrews than just Israelites, but they got Hebrew Israelite faces, or it may be tares, calling themselves that, black, leading the people, but behind that is an Edomite. All right, so let me start this all over. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that falling away was us as a people falling away and going into captivity, and also a lot of apostasy going on. All right. There shall come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So this devil got to be taken out of the way, and he gonna keep going until he be taken out of the way. But it's up to us. It's up to the teachers, the prophets, the preachers, the reverends, and the people who have this knowledge to warn the people. And it's up to the people to hearken to the people that the Lord sent to tell you these things. And it's up to you to do so you don't fall into this deception. All right, this is 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So keep going in the truth until this man be taken out of the way, and don't be one of the people who bow the knee to Baal, especially in these times, because you're gonna be bowing your knee in deceptively. You're gonna be doing it unknowingly if you go into the congregation of these Black Lives Matters people. And verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And what's the spirit of his mouth? What's the spirit of his mouth? That fire that's gonna come down from the sky. All right. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And that's how he got y'all riding in the streets, knocking all over everything, rocking the Black Lives Matter shirts, rocking the hoodies, putting the posters all on your cars, all in your windows, putting the stickers all on your bumpers. He got you deceived. Don't be deceived, Yasharallah. Do not be deceived by these people. All right? And we already know, we already went into the destruction that's going to happen for those who do bow the knee to Baal. And even when we go back to 1 Kings, because I did not mention it, when after Elijah's sacrifice was accepted by the Lord, then Elijah slayed all of Ahab and Jezebel's prophets of Baal. So all the prophets of Baal will be slayed. So, you know, Adawan Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. You know, Kwam Yasharallah, that's Raj Yasharallah. And Wa Abba Babal, that's the destruction to Babylon. Shalom. Until the next time, Lord willing.